victory. I just got another victory. Opposition said they sick of me. We turn their future to history. They try to hit me, they missing me. Ooh, they in the way. They getting stepped on back in the day. We who they slept on. You see my place. It's never.
What's going on, SB community? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Sheer Brilliance Knicks. If you're joining me for the first time here on the channel, checking out the show, I want to extend my appreciation to you. I want to thank you and let you know that hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so that you're aware of anytime I'm dropping a new video, anytime I'm going live, anytime new content is coming your way. But thank you. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here for a few moments. So I appreciate you. If you're returning to the channel, my SB community, you already know we back. All right? You already know what it is. So I thank you. You know we roll deep too. You know we roll deep. So I want to thank you for your continuous support. Do me a favor, hit that like button while you're in the chat. Do me a favor, hit that like button while you're watching this video, whether you're watching a video at work, on your way home from work, or just chilling with dinner. Hit that like button. I appreciate you always. It's always about you. Now, you know you can't have those people who support what it is that you do without having people who may not be 100% agreeable to what it is you're saying. And for those people, I call you the ops. So ops, we see you. I see you in the comment section, sectioning and commenting. And guess what? You are rocking with the best, baby. But know what? Friend or foe, we want the smoke. So you're welcome here too. I don't care. Engage. If you have an opposing opinion, that's fine. We are humans and that's what we do. So leave your comments in the chat. Leave your comments below. Okay, engage. Friend or foe, we want the smoke. And you know what? The smoke is exactly what we're bringing today, courtesy of our New York mother flipping Knicks. All right? And we are about to get into it. But first and foremost, let me just jump this thing off. My name is Sheer. I'm your host. I'm the host of Sheer Brilliance Knicks, and I'm also the owner of Knicks Deli. Okay? And you are visiting the Sheer Brilliance Knicks podcast. So we're going to get into a couple of things. If you're here for the first time, you don't know how things go. Anytime you visit the Sheer Brilliance Knicks channel, if you're doing so after a New York Knicks victory, then we have a segment that we call Knicks Deli, Knicks Deli edition. Okay? And that's when we look at the Knicks Deli edition. Listen, if you're from New York, you know the importance of a Knicks Deli. You know the importance of a deli, period, or a bodega. Okay? So that's how we look at Knicks victories. There's only 4 items on the menu at Knicks Deli, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But before I do, if you know anything about my channel, you know that this channel does not run, does not move forward, does not grow without the SB community, the Sheer Brilliance community. Okay? So I like to do a shout out to at least 5 members of Sheer Brilliance Knicks community, the SB community. So I'll kick it off with that. Who is what I'm going to call Sheer's top 5, dead or alive. So the top 5 here at Sheer Brilliance Knicks today is, we got our children, our communities, our children. OC, shout out to you. You are number 1 on the top 5. Number 2 is Volume and Cheesecake. I never had Volume and Cheesecake together. Actually, I never had Volume at all. But I'm sure you were dope because you were here chilling with the SB community. So shout out with you, Volume and Cheesecake. Number 3, we have Taj Varela. Taj Varela, shout out to you. Salute to you. Thank you and welcome to the SB community. Number 4 is One Love. And that's all we have for our Knicks right now. So shout out to you and salute to you, One Love. And number 5 on Sheer's top 5 is OG Stewart. OG Stewart. Shout out to you, OG. Let's go. Let's go. I want to shout out to all of my top 5 today at here at Sheer Brilliance Knicks. Now I'm excited because I'm stumbling and bumbling all over my words, but I'm really excited to get into talking about this team. today. The New York Knicks was led by the Terror Squad last night. I got to do my own damn sound effects right now. Okay, I'll get the sound panel soon. All right. But the New York Knicks were led to a phenomenal victory in Portland by their bench. Terror Squad showed up last night and they helped to fuel this win. All right. So many storylines in this one. So many. We had Deuce McBride stepping out onto the stage and really putting forth that effort, looking more comfortable every day to lead this team 123-107 over the Portland Trail Blazers last night. We're going to talk about that. Emmanuel Quickley doing what he does to command first place consideration for Sixth Man of the Year. We're going to talk about that. Next, we have Josh Mother Flippin' Hart. His heart, his impact, and his importance to us as a team. We're going to get into that as well. So we have so much to cover today at Knicks Deli. I'm going to take my time with it. We're going to walk this thing out. I'm going to take my time with it. But listen, we are going to get into it today. And there's only one way that we cover victories here at Knicks Deli. All right. Here at Shit Brilliance Knicks is through Knicks Deli Edition. Knicks Deli Edition. All right. So if you are new to the channel and you have no idea what I'm talking about, we celebrate New York Knicks victories, Knicks Deli Edition style. So we do it this way because the deli is important to New Yorkers, or the bodega. All right. And when you go into the bodega or the deli, here at Knicks Deli, there are only 4 items on the menu. Okay. There is the bacon, egg, and cheese. There is the dollar slice. There is the chopped cheese. And then you have the quarter water. Okay. So those are the 4 items we're going to talk about today here in Knicks Deli. If you have the bacon, egg, and cheese, those are the 3 components to the sandwich that make that thing bussin'. So in terms of our Knicks, we're going to look at who are the 3 players that together really combined and helped this victory get secured. Next, we're going to look at who is the dollar slice. Now, everybody knows that New York has the best pizza in the world. I said it, the best pizza in the world. Okay? And the dollar slice is important to those members of the hood. So the dollar slice represents stability. All right? Who was the stabilizing factor in this past game that helped us lock up this victory? So we're going to look at who that is. Next on the menu, you have the chopped cheese. Now, the chopped cheese is relatively new to the menu of New York, but that thing be bussin'. So we're going to look at who had the relatively new impact to this game or to this team. But that impact was bussin' and helped us secure this victory. And lastly, you can't have the dollar slice. You can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese. You can't have the chopped cheese if you don't have nothing to wash that thing down with. And for Knicks Deli, the drink we have is the quarter water. Got to do my own low budget ass sound effects. The quarter water. And that's who is the player that offered impact in a particular quarter or a little bit throughout that helped us sustain and put us over the top to help us get this victory. So this is what we're going to look at here in Knicks Deli today. Shout out to you all. All right, so let's get this thing underway. First up, who is the bacon of the bacon, egg, and cheese today here in Knicks Deli? Now, so many candidates that you could choose from, but today it's about the Terror Squad, okay? The New York Knicks bench. It is about the Terror Squad today because it was about the Terror Squad yesterday. So, of course, the bacon of the bacon, egg, and cheese. It's got to be Emmanuel Mumpin Quickley. Round of applause for Emmanuel Quickley. Let's go. Let's go, IQ. Listen, what more can you say about this young man who is having himself a breakout season? In terms of yesterday's game, this man put up, a low-key 26 points. A little humble 10 rebounds. I'm just going to sneak these 3 assists in here just in case you had any question about my past game. Let me just throw that in there. Just in case you had any doubts. He is locked in. He is locked in. On NBA 2K, his overall rating jumped up about 2 more notches, maybe a notch. If he was at a 77, he's at a 79 now. IQ showed up and showed out. Once again, couple of points that I have on his performance. Something I noticed about his game yesterday was that he impacts the game defensively before he does on offense. A couple of times he'll go for a shot. But if he's looking to set up his team, like he looks at the game right now with such a level of discernment at the point guard position, is unbelievable. His growth and his progress. I remember in the early days when he came in, we thought he was a 2. That man had that float game and he had the 3-point shot. The league was talking about his float game. And then Tom Thibodeau gave him the challenge. He says, I see you at the point guard position. He said, first off, no, he didn't. I'm lying on Coach Tibbs. Coach said he's a basketball player. We have a group of basketball players. It was the media that consistently asked him, what position do you see yourself playing? Quick said, I think I could play point. I think I could play multiple positions. He said, but point guard, I'm a point guard. And very early on, all of us, but I stand accused, I can only speak for myself because I know what goes on in my brain. I said, I don't know if I see it, IQ. I don't know if I see it, bro. I don't know. I thought his handle was sloppy early on in his career. I thought his shot was too inconsistent. I didn't think he had the ability to penetrate and get to the basket. And I thought he was too frail because he got knocked off of his base anytime he had the basketball. And this is why it's important to let players grow and develop. Because very early on, a lot of us, man, at different points in times, I'm going to include myself. As Knicks fans, we all know this is true. Very early on, we were just like, I think we need to move on from this play. I think we need to move on. There's going to be some of us that was just like, there was always my guy. There was always my guy. I'm going to ride or die. That was always my guy. But at some point in time, each of us have included all of our young players in a trade at one time or another for a particular player. And something different that we've done this year, this stretch in terms of the years in drafting and developing our players, is that we've done just that. We've taken the small market team approach and taken the time to let these players grow into themselves. Together, we had our own core 4 of Barrett, of IQ, of Obi, and Julius. And we continue to add to that group. Came very close. I mean, very close, like hair follicle thin close of trading them off if an opportunity would have been the right opportunity with the right offer. But the decision we made was to keep them, and now we're seeing the fruits of the labor. We're reaping what we've sown a few years back. And we kept the same farmer cultivating the land. And that's Tom Thibodeau. And now we're seeing the fruits of the labor. Emmanuel quickly he's playing a different level of basketball. And he's contributing to a more contemporary style of play that the New York Knicks have not been known for playing in a long time. It's rare, the number of years going back to the 90s, where it seems as if we played a style of offense and still provided a style of defense that was effective. This is similar to, once again, I hate to keep beating the dead Golden State Warrior horse, but that was the last team that I really knew who played both sides of the ball effectively in top 10 range. So just his improvement and what I've seen from IQ in terms of game control, not putting up the shots, It's almost like a quarterback. He's looking at his first read. He's going through all of his reads, second read, third read. Still have moments where he makes mistakes, but you can go certain games and he doesn't have turnovers. It's just, I don't know, it's just been fun to watch him grow as a New York Knick. So that's one thing that I noticed, that defensively, he'll ratchet it up before he gets his offense going. And that's a sign of maturity, I think, that he brought. Something else that I talked about briefly was just his discernment. He's really playing a high-level point guard. High-level point guard. And the beauty of it is, as the competition ratchets up, as the situations of importance ratchets up, he's elevating his game along with it. And he's our backup. He is our backup. We need to enjoy IQ as long as we have him. IQ is going to be in a position where he starts commanding a lot of money. And it may be a few seasons where he's going to be the ops. And I hope we get there, not to the point where he's the ops, but I hope we get there to the point where he's in a position to demand a lot of money, because that means he'll have had the opportunity to show up and show out for us last night. For us as a squad. But IQ, man, is just good. His scoring, he's picking and choosing the right time to score. That's important for a point guard, knowing when to get your team involved and when to put the ball up. I almost expect his shots, his 3-point shots particularly, to go through. I almost expect every time he puts them up for them to be knocked down. And something else that I'm loving about this season's version of IQ is he seems to be an antagonist of the game. He seems to be an antagonist. I'm gonna get you in here. If you trying to get on, chances, I'm gonna put the invite. I'm gonna send you the invite. IQ seems to be an antagonist. Okay? And what I mean by that is, I always, when you see those good teams, New York Knicks were bad for a very long time. So we've been in a situation where we seen a lot of teams come in and flex on us in Madison Square Garden. Right? Y'all know that to be true. We had a lot of teams who came in to flex on us in Madison Square Garden. And when they do, the part that will, boil my blood will be when they dancing, they gyrate, and they skipping. It's like they're playing with so much joy on our court. And you hate that, because the court, they should be fearful of your home court. Well, what I noticed is IQ doing that on everybody else's court right now. In Boston, that man might as well been line dancing. As much joy as he was playing with, bouncing. He does that little, that three joint. You know what I mean? I love that. The New York Knicks have young, hungry energy. Young and hungry energy, and he is the leader of the Terror Squad. Man, it's a beautiful thing. And Knicks Nation, we can be hypercritical of our squad, of course. But they ours. Because we watch them day in and day out. We've seen each incremental improvement. We know what steps they need to take to reach greatness. A lot of these Johnny newcomers who are watching on ESPN, on YouTube, on the internet, and getting glimpses, they don't know. So that's why they're surprised. And that's another piece that's exciting as fans. When we start recognizing that they're recognizing what we've seen all along, and that their narratives were wrong. And IQ is leading the charge. So today here at Knicks Deli, the bacon of the bacon, egg, and cheese is mother flipping Emmanuel Quickley, our sixth man of the year. So round of applause for mother flipping Emmanuel Quickley. Next up, who is the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese? Of course, I got to give love to Deuce mother flipping McBride. Round of applause for Deuce. Look, the deuce was loose last night. I know that's corny. Everybody said the deuce was loose last night. Okay? Deuce McBride is another shining example of the depth that we have on this team. The New York Knicks are introducing themselves to the league right now, to the entire league. Okay? Deuce McBride had 18 points last night, 2 blocks, 3 assists. All right? Now, let me take a moment. Let me just take a moment right now and see if we can do something real quick. Let's take a look at this dunk this man had last night. Let me chef this thing up. Give me one moment. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. You're here at Sheer Brilliance Knicks. And you also visiting Knicks Deli, Knicks Deli edition. You know I do my own ad-libs. Leave me alone. Let's take a look at this thing right here. Let me chef this thing up.
As Hart has his shot block, pass ahead, finds its way to
Get that.
Blocked by McBride. What a recovery from Deuce McBride. That should have been an easy layup for Simons.
Come on now. Come on now. What is our guy doing? I don't know what Tom Thibodeau was putting in these boys' water and they Powerade bottles, but he got this team playing at the right level at the right time. Deuce McBride is an example of a player who has paid his dues. And this is what I absolutely love. This is why I've always been a Tom Thibodeau fan. Not just because I'm nostalgic about when the team was good in the 90s. It's not just that. Not because I always want to deep dive into the numbers. Sometimes it's not about the deep dive into the numbers, you analytic freaks. It's about that feel you get when you look at the eye test. What do you see? What do you see happening? If you ask Knicks fans, they want to open up the rotation. This player needs more minutes. This player needs more minutes. You ain't the coach. Damian Lillard, and we're going to talk about this at Off the Grill, hot off the grill at the end of this segment. Damian Lillard recently did an interview on JJ Redick's podcast. Shout out to Old Man and the Three. And he was talking about the NBA that was there when he entered the league and what he values. And he talked about the importance of veteran players and how they mentored him when he came into the league and how it didn't matter what number you were drafted in. You have to pay your dues. He talked about today's player feeling entitled. He talked about today's player feeling entitled. That when they come in with the high, whether it's between 1 and 5 draft, they feel as if the team is just given to them. The millions are just given to them. They walk different. They talk different. They don't have deference to veterans. They walk around as if they're better. He says he's seen it with his own eyes. And in many respects, he ain't taking shots. He's a vet in this league, but you can't help but think about Ja Morant. You can't help it. And when Knicks fans, when these boys were drafted, obviously you look at the team, and if you know there's players that are getting playing time that are not as good as these young players we brought in, you want to quickly thrust them into the lineup. Give them minutes over these veteran players. And I was telling you way back then, they got to earn their stripes. I don't care if they're better. And it sucks right now, but what they're doing is they're building culture. And a lot of you who profess to know basketball and to know Tibbs, Tibbs is a win-now player. He ain't never going to let the young kids grow. He's going to play the veterans. That's the reason why. Eventually, those young players, if they stick it out and they work hard and they follow all of the rules that are in place, they will one day become veterans. Now is the day. Now you see a player such as Deuce get an opportunity. This is his dressing rehearsal for the playoffs. And it also affords us enough opportunity for Jalen Brunson to heal up. But you got to keep this in mind. It is a process in this league. And Damian Lillard validated it when he made that statement. Players value that. He was basically saying players care more about their money and their numbers than they do winning today. So for those of you who wonder whether or not there's going to be a superstar who looks to come to New York, understand there are many players out there who value what it is we're doing right now. That we're not skipping steps. And Deuce McBride, his performance in recent days are an example of that, a blatant example of it. That we're not skipping steps. He's paid his dues. So now he could go in the locker room in front of the vets and not feel uncomfortable because he thinks he's been given an opportunity he didn't earn. That man played hard in practice. You never saw him come out with words negative against the coach or the playing time. We're going to get into that, Money Making Mitch. We're going to talk about that. But he's done things the right way, and he's given an opportunity. He was given an opportunity by us sticking with him. Even when his three-point shot looked a little bit off, not last night, not in recent days. His confidence is there. And the confidence we know comes with more playing time, but it comes with continuous trust from your teammates. No matter how many shots you miss, keep feeding that boy the ball if he's open. And play defense. Put that effort forth on the floor. If your shot's not falling down, lock somebody up. So Deuce McBride, I'm tremendously proud of that cat. He's starting to settle into his role beautifully. There's a couple of other notes that I took while watching the game last night. We just showed that dunk. And it was more than just, I'm not the dunk, I'm sorry. We just showed that block. And it was more than the block. It was the deflection at the other end that knocked the ball loose. It was the pursuit to run down that ball when his man had a half step in front of him. And then it's the ability to elevate and block the shot on the defensive end. What he pretty much did was like announce himself once again. He knows he's going to be in the highlights the next day. He don't care about that. He cares about the win and what is going to pop off on tape the next day when y'all watching film. Deuce McBride has arrived. He's arrived. And it's a beautiful thing to see, and it's a beautiful thing to say that we've been here since the very beginning. He delivers now when he's at that corner three or anywhere on the three-point arc. He puts it up with confidence, but he seems to be regularly hitting that corner three from the top of the bucket, from the corner of the court. The beauty is in the work, he stays ready. But there are two things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about these quotes that he had in the end of the game. Deuce McBride was being interviewed at the end of the game, and there's two things that he said. The first question was, the interviewer, I forget the question, but basically his response was, I want to see everyone successful. I want to win. He keeps talking to teammates. He talked about what got him through those times when he wasn't playing. And when Josh Hart came through, they knew that would take him out of the lineup. And he said, I want to see everybody successful. I just want to win. And he said it was important that he kept talking to his teammates, that he didn't sulk or remove himself. He kept engaged. He stayed present in the game. He kept talking to his teammates. And he also said it was important that the coach kept talking to him, kept telling him feedback, what he needs to do, and that he's an important piece to this team. There's going to come a time where he's called on. He just needs to be ready. I loved hearing that from the young man on, a national broadcast, so to speak, in front of everybody. And that was his response to the question. His next quote was when they were asking, Josh Hart, he's had such an impact on this team and he seems to be a great fit. Talk to us a little bit about what you see with Josh Hart coming over to the team. This is important. This is something I think that we could talk about a lot of players feeling when Josh Hart came on. He said from day one, Josh Hart was a great teammate first. He was a great leader and he's not doing anything to disjoint the team. I thought that was critical. I thought that was a critical statement. When he said, I'm not doing anything to disjoint the team, that's important because every one of those teammates knew, especially the young ones, that Josh Hart was a friend of Jalen Brunson. So the natural inclination is, once again, that a player will come in, skip steps, hop over some players who really were working hard to get their positions in order to get playing time because he's a friend of the point guard. So when he says something like he didn't do anything to disjoint the team, that's important. That's saying that he must have come in and talked to everybody and said, my play is going to determine whether or not I get minutes. I'm here for the team. I'm not trying to step on toes or young bro nobody. I loved hearing that because that's something I don't think a lot of people talked about with Josh Hart coming in. How did the young players feel whose minutes may have been diminished? So once again, Deuce McBride, man, put in the work. His work is finally showing, and he had a phenomenal last night. So I want to give a shout out to Deuce mother flipping McBride, who is the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese. Now, who are we looking at as the cheese of the bacon, egg, and cheese? And of course, it's got to be the man we were just talking about, Josh mother flipping Hart. Josh Hart, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for this man. Josh Hart had a great game last night. He showed up as always. Okay? Josh Hart had 16 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists last night. Man had a great game. He's another person where you have to say, what more is there to say? What more is there to say about this man? What more can you do? This man is so funny. At the very beginning of the season, I made a video about the New York Knicks and their chances on the season. And I said, we really have a deep team. We truly have a deep team. Doubled up at each position. But I said to myself, I don't think we have a Joakim Noah on this team. I don't think we have a Draymond Green on this team. I don't think we have a Pat Beverly on this team. That's the one thing we're missing that championship level teams have. Don't get too high. I'm not, you know what, damn it, yes, championship level teams have. We didn't have that. When the New York Knicks made this trade, they acquired their Draymond Green type player. They acquired their Pat Beverly type of player. They acquired that Joakim Noah type of player. That player, when his play and his swagger and his presence on the court and his actions, he will dive into the crowd like a Dennis Rodman type of player. He does the intangibles. At his size, he's a rebounding type of guard. He gets the energy level up. He keeps his team locked in and present. And not only with his words, but with his play and his actions. In a short period of time, his contribution is tangible. That's what he brings in a short period of time. Shout out to Richard Jefferson. Did I just say that? Don't throw up in my mouth, man. Shout out to Richard Jefferson, though, because when this move was made, that man went on national TV. He looked in the camera. He said, congratulations, Knicks fans. And congratulations, front office of the New York Knicks. The move you just made guarantees that you'll get to the second round. This man alone, his impact and his contribution alone to the team will get you to the second round. Kudos. The front office saw it. I never would foresee his level of contribution to be this impactful. Josh Hart is always all over the place. Or as Uncle Clyde would say, he's omnipresent. He's all over the place. He lifts his teammates. You could clearly see that. He also is another valuable contributor to the strongest bench in the league, the Terror Squad. Shout out to Josh Hart, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. You, my friend, are the cheese on the bacon, egg, and cheese today here at Knicks Deli. All right. Now, before I go to what's next on the menu, let me do this real quick. Let me shout out to the chat. What y'all talking? Where y'all at? Let me shout y'all out. Let me see what's going on in the comment section. Want to welcome you all. Let's see who's in here. My guy, Mike Lilly. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. What's up, everybody? Do me a favor. If there's 6 people in here real quick, let me see 6 likes. Let's go. He says, I just want to hear about Deuce. Yeah, man. Deuce. It's Deuce's world right now. Deuce is a wow right now. Mike Lilly says Deuce should be a 2-4 deal. Yo, we got a cream. So we're about to expand this menu. All right. But we're going to add a 2-4 deal. Punch Nice says, salute, my brother. Salute to you. All right, we got Jason Swell on here, says, I've been said 66 wins. This man said 60. Let me round that horn, man. This man said 66 wins, including the playoffs. Yo, let's get it. Let's get it all day. My guy Law says, Tibbs' system. See, what up, Law? We cannot get past that. What up? Law says Tibbs' system seems to develop in a certain way. Mental toughness, being prepared, and being disciplined. Cam should have let it happen. We're going to get into Cam a little bit. But you 100% right there, my brother. He said his talent would have shined through eventually. That's right. You can't have a microwave mentality. You can't have this air fryer desire for those results to be there. Even when you're given minutes in Portland, you got to show up in games like that. Your plus minus can't be what it was. Come on, man. You got to have some level of fight. Get a flagrant foul or something. But that night, that performance last night was clear that the New York Knicks transplant to bring Hart to New York, so that heart transplant was legitimate. It was needed because apparently we got rid of something that didn't have much heart. Sounds cruel, but that's what it is. It is what it is. All right, so shout out to you, Law. Shout out to my guy, Chances Omega. Let's go. He says, the one thing I'm loving about this team is our defensive consistency, no matter who's on the court. Bro, talk about it. Talk about it. I had that in here as well. You know, in my notes, I talked a little bit about getting down 15 early. And how if you're watching as a Knicks fan, you don't have panic. First thing you think about is who's the team that we're playing. Second thing you think about is, who's going to spark? At what point, yesterday early on, the New York Knicks were like 3-point crazy. All right, and it'd be like, all right, you got to stop taking threes. We got to work inside. One thing I love about this team, almost to a man, everybody has the ability to get and ones. So it's the easiest 3-point shot you can make as long as you hit your free throws. That's a little bit questionable for us as a squad. But that's something that I loved seeing. You know what I mean? We chip away. We have an ability to chip away. And it's almost like we measure it. We get down in the first quarter, it's no worries. Make up a little bit of ground in the second, no worries. The third quarter is important. And then the fourth is where you sprint to the finish line. But like Chance said, the one thing that I'm loving as well about this team is our defensive consistency, no matter who is on the court. Man, and it speaks to our depth as well. So that's a great point, my guy. Great point. My guy, Alan C., you look like you're a first-timer, man. Welcome. All right? That's for sure about Josh Hart. 100%, man. Bro, the New York Knicks are making legitimate moves that when you watch documentaries that are done about our run, these are marked moments. The Hartenstein move is a move I could see in the documentary where they was talking about, well, it kicked off with Leon Rose trading for a Hartenstein and then a Josh Hart and then signing a Jalen Brunson. Like, I hear it already. I hear it in documentary form about the New York Knicks run to Canyon of Heroes to celebrate the championship. Let's talk about it. Prince of Positivity, you already know about it. So let's go. Alan, I agree with you, brother. He also says Josh Hart brought a different level of toughness to the Knicks. Yo, that is straight facts. And like he said last night in his interview, when they said, Josh, you were like 11-3 since you've been here. He said the New York Knicks were already trending upwards. They were already trending up before I got here, which made him a little bit more excited about coming here. So we were already tough. And we got tougher when he got here. Come on, like, what are you doing? Let the league lie to you if they want to and say that they don't fear the Knicks. Let them lie to you if they want to. If they say the maximum is the ceiling on the team is the second round. Let them lie to you if they want to. The only people in the room who need to believe it are the team members. There's a video that's out. Shout out to D's World of Hoops, because he had run a clip that had an interview of, was it D's World of Hoops? I don't think it was D's World of Hoops. I'll find out who it was, but I actually made a separate clip as well with Chris Childs, the former point guard of the 1999 team that made a run from the 8th seed to the finals. Point guard for the team, the one that gave the two-piece to Kobe. Rest in peace, Kobe. You caught that one. You caught the two-piece. But he was interviewed on Vlad TV. And he said, nobody gave us a chance to make that run. Nobody. Only people that believed it were the people in the room. And I think that could be the case now. I'm a firm believer. I'm like, listen, the only team in the league that I fear is Milwaukee. It's Milwaukee. I would have said Denver, but Denver's struggling right now. We'll see what it looks like with Denver. I would have said Denver because they always give us that work. The only team I fear in the league is Milwaukee. So let's see. Let's ride this thing out and see where it goes. All right? So let me jump back in. And see who's the dollar slice of the game. All right? And the dollar slice of the game will go to Isaiah mother-flipping Hartenstein. Put your hands together for Isaiah Hartenstein. He is the dollar slice of the game. Dollar slice of the game. If you're just joining us right now, you are joining Knicks Deli, where we celebrate Knicks Deli edition style anytime we have a victory. 4 items on the menu. 1 is the bacon, egg, and cheese. 2nd is the dollar slice. 3rd is the chopped cheese. And 4 is the quarter water. Okay? So if you're just joining me, do me a favor, hit them thumbs up. Hit them thumbs up while we chef this thing up here in Knicks Deli. So, of course, we got this. This is a Terror Squad version of the show. And if you're just joining us, you don't know what Terror Squad is. Terror Squad is our New York bench, the deepest bench in the league, terrorizing the NBA. The Terror Squad version of Knicks Deli is today. So the dollar slice goes to Isaiah Hartenstein. Okay? Isaiah Hartenstein had 0 points, but that's not his role. What that man does is everything else. 11 rebounds. He had 4 assists, and he had a block. This game, notwithstanding, look at that man's effort against Anthony Davis against the Lakers. He was in that man's shirt, having him uncomfortable, completely helping take him out of the game. And in this game, what I love about Isaiah Hartenstein is he's not afraid to get dunked on. I don't care if I'm on a poster. I'm still going to challenge a shot. Dump the ball to me or drive, penetrate, dish. I'm going to hit that little, how the center got a floater? How does the center got a floater? Talking about being brothers in the offensive rebounding game, the defensive rebounding game. The New York Knicks is a rarity because they got 3 7-footers on their team. He's active. Does he foul? Yes, but you get 6 of those things. I'd be concerned if he didn't end with 4 fouls, because that means he ain't playing hard enough. How many fouls did Cam Reddish have last night? Did Cam Reddish play? Yeah, I'm being petty, because Cam was my guy from Duke. Completely disappointing in terms of the level of talent he had and lack of production. This ain't about Cam. This is about iHeart. And iHeart, you, my brother, are the dollar slice of the game. So shout out to you. Shout out to my guy, iHeart. All right. Next up on the Knicks menu here in Knicks Deli, who is the chopped cheese? Who is the chopped cheese today? And the chopped cheese here in Knicks Deli is going to go to, boom, Obi Toppin. I told you it's the Terror Squad today. It's all about the Terror Squad, the strongest bench in the league. And right now, we're going to celebrate my guy, Obi, the chopped cheese of the game. Obi mother flipping Toppin. Listen, keep sleeping on Obi if you want to. I had a conversation the other day with my cousin, and he was saying, I'm just saying, he's rotting on the bench. He's collecting dust on the bench. I'm like, be patient and let them cook. Because there's going to be players who don't have an opportunity to really make big time impact in a regular season, but we'll need them in the playoffs. Big time impact. I keep giving this example and it makes me sick to my stomach. If you were around for the 90s Knicks and you played against the best player in the world in the history of the game, Michael Jordan and his Chicago Bulls, as Knicks fans, we used to love saying we would beat everybody else with no problem if they didn't have Michael Jordan. So every time we played the Chicago Bulls when they had Michael Jordan, it was like, let him get his points. We know we're going to drop 66. Let the other team beat us. Let the rest of the team beat us. Let his supporting cast beat us. And goddamn it, just when we think we had Jordan contained, he'll find somebody like Bill Winnington under the basket. Used to make me sick to my stomach. I would be in class the next day just disgruntled. I want Obi to be Bill Winnington. Come through, give us a spark, in with 8 points, and let the other team talk about mother flipping Obi Top. Man, if he just didn't hit that 3, and you know that alley-oop changed the intensity of the game, you know, and that man, when he caught that block at the end of the game, I don't know how much defense he's going to be playing, but, you know, we want him to say, if it's only 9 to 11 points, that he was a game changer. That he was a game changer. And last night, that's what he did. He showed that ability. Coming through in the game, 11 points. He's comfortable behind that 3-point line now. But I also love that he's doing, every now and again, you're going to see he's penetrating to the basket. You can tell by the way he finishes around the rim that we're not even scratching the surface in terms of his skill set. You can tell that by watching Obi. And for those people who's just like, yeah, well, listen, I mean, we would see it more if he got more minutes. Cut it out. First and foremost, what is our record? Secondly, what is our record since when? And thirdly, it is a long season. And we're hoping for us and our fortunes that it is a long season. Because the more we play, the more likely there is for injuries to happen. And we will need these pieces. I'm always fighting on Twitter with these people talking about, listen, we need to get rid of these people and see if we can get picks. Picks ain't going to help us in the playoffs if we make it past the second round, first round into the second round into the third. Picks ain't going to help us at that point if Julius is hobbling. So Obi Toppin, man, is great to see when he comes in. He's always supportive, even when he doesn't play. And that's something that's also important. But he's doing more than he was earlier this year. This year, I'll give you that. He was a statue out there on the floor. He'd run to the three-point sideline, and he just parked there. And I used to hate seeing that early on in Tibbs' career. I used to hate seeing that. And D'Antoni, I think D'Antoni started it. I think that's where Tibbs got it from. In order to spread out the floor, you got to have two people on the wing ready to hit the three-point shots. So many of us, our argument is you're wasting his athleticism. And look, unpopular opinion. Obi could dunk, but he ain't as athletic as his father. You notice that he's like one of the most athletic dudes? Yo, unpopular opinion, I said it. He's one of the most athletic dudes. You know, he'll jump, he got hops, but he's not Ja athletic. He's not Zion athletic. But it's not about disparaging him today. It's about giving that man his flowers. Chopped cheese goes to Obi. Mother flipping top and 11 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Chopped cheese, not chopped liver. Here at Knicks Deli. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to anybody who's watching. We got 14 people viewing. We need 14 likes. Do me that solid. Help support Knicks Deli. Help support your boy. I'm your host, Sheer. So what's next on the menu? We got a couple more things. Next on the menu, you can't have the chopped cheese. You can't have the dollar slice here in Knicks Deli. And you damn sure can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese if you ain't got nothing to wash that thing down with. Here in Knicks Deli, we do it with the quarter water. So who is the quarter water of the game? I don't have sound effects for this. Who's the quarter water of the game? And the quarter water of the game today, we're going to break from Terror Squad. He's an honorary member of the Terror Squad, RJ Mother Flippin' Barrett. Round of applause for RJ Barrett. Ladies and gentlemen, every year since RJ has been in the league, he has chosen to incrementally improve in the second half of seasons after the All-Star break. And this year is no different. We're hoping that all the seasons moving forward are. But this year, you're starting to see RJ he's digging into his bag and he's pulling out L's for a lot of his opponents. RJ Barrett had a hell of a game last night. 22 points, 3 blocks, 5 rebounds. Yeah, I said 3 blocks. I'll repeat, 3 blocks. 5 rebounds. RJ had a pretty great game last night. One thing I absolutely love to see, I told you guys, I'm a former Duke fan, Duke Blue Devil fan. And I know Chance is going to get at me because I said former. I don't care, all right? But I'm a former Duke Blue Devil fan, and it was great. I'm not even going to lie to you. It was great seeing Cam Reddish match up with RJ last night. Although it was no matchup, but it was great seeing them on the floor together last night. But what I'm loving about RJ, man, is he never gets discouraged when he has terrible stretches. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it is when you're playing big time. When you're playing on the highest level of basketball, the highest stage in the world for basketball, in the heaviest jersey in the league, New York. It's important that when you struggle, that you find a way to compartmentalize and block it out. It's important that you find an ability to do that. And that's what I'm grateful in terms of RJ. He does that. At the stretch that he's having right now, he's showing you what he could be and what he can contribute as a player to this team. He's showing you that. What we need to see is more consistency. And we need to see a lot of that from the whole team on the offensive side. Be consistent with your free throws. They're free. Be consistent in finding your teammates and playing team basketball. If there's a gripe that I have from RJ and from Julius, is I want to see more of that. I think that can take them to another level. If they are considered a star right now, or in Julius's case is an all-star, what is going to take him to another level, and he's already done it to get to this point, is to even be more unselfish. And for Julius, what that looks like is argue for your calls, but know when to bring it back and calm down. Know when not to get a technical foul. Know when not to yell at your teammates. Know when your coach shouldn't have to hold you back. All of those things are selfish. Stop running to the free throw line during technical fouls when you're an inconsistent free throw shooter. And that's what I meant for my people on Twitter. You got a problem with me on Twitter, you come see me on my channel and you'll get the explanation. A lot of people thought I was calling Julius like straight trash. But it ain't about Julius right now. It's about RJ. And his improvement in the second half of this season is in tune with how he's produced for his career. And I love it because he's chosen the right time. He's finding where he sits between a Josh Hart and a Brunson, newly acquired pieces. And he's not rattled by the talk. So shout out to RJ Barrett, who had 22 points last night. 3 blocks, more aggressive, doing a better job of completing and finishing his drives. 5 rebounds. And he already has the reputation that he's going left. But he also has that reputation similar to the Utah Jazz where nobody can stop it. They know exactly what he's going to do, but nobody can stop him from doing it. He has an opportunity to take it to another level. But RJ Barrett is doing this thing. So shout out to RJ Barrett, you my guy, on a quarter water of the game. Okay? We're going to jump back onto the comments and see what y'all talking. Chat vibes. Do me a favor, run the thumbs up. 10 people in the chat. If you haven't hit the like button as well. Let's see what y'all talking if y'all with me. Okay, Alan C., I want to applaud you. Gave me the round of applause. Yeah. Chances Omega says, yes, iHeart. Bro, iHeart is a dog. Like he's a dog. He brings something slightly different than what Mitch brings, which is absolutely excellent because the second unit has to adjust differently. And you can intermingle and maybe play them side by side together. But he never stops, bro. I always joke about iHeart having concrete feet. And at times he does where, he doesn't move as athletically. But, his heart be all over the place, bro. He is unafraid. And that's exactly what we needed in New York. He's an ideal player for our team. Unafraid. Another shout out to iHeart. Yes. Alan says, chopped cheese making the sandwich taste good. Hashtag Obi 100%. Alan C also says RJ the 9 guy. Yo, put your ones in the chat for RJ, man. We've been killing them all season, man. Throw some ones in the chat to support your boy, RJ Barrett. My guy King Ribby RM laughs. He's laughing. I'm not sure what part was it, but we've been going kind of crazy. King Ribby RM says at no matchup. Alan C also says everything is coming together for this team at the right time. All facts. All facts. Yes, we got our communities, our children. OCOC says RF Broadway Barrett. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for OCOC. If you ever catch my intro to my channel, Victory Song, this is their song. OCOC, our communities, our children. Give me permission to use that intro song. I love it. And it's appropriate for our squad. And it's dope. So shout out to them. Visit their channel if you can. Visit that channel if you can. It said RJ Broadway Barrett will be a star in the NBA. I believe it. And I believe it will be here with the Knicks. I believe it. So I'm with you. Shout out to you. Last comment says, oh yeah, Alan is agreeing with you also, putting a, comment up here, pointing upwards. So shout out to you. Our communities, our children, much love to you as well. So I know I'm taking up a lot of time, but we're going to dive right back into this thing. And I'm going to take my time with it. I ain't in no rush. Y'all got places to be, ride with me. I'm going to land this plane. So we're going to talk about who was the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game. And we already saw it. It was the Deuce McBride deflection and block. A testimony of his effort his defensive ability, and the fact that he doesn't give up no matter what the situation is. So my guy, Deuce McBride, you get the nah, son, nah. You wildin' moment of the game. All right? Let me take a quick break to give a shout out to my socials. You can find me also on Twitter. Do me a favor. If you don't follow me, hit me up. I'll follow you back at SB Knicks on Twitter. Also, I'm waking up my Instagram. I've been off of it for a little bit, but I'm back on Instagram and YouTube, both at SB Knicks. Also, if you want to contribute to this thing, we can't do this thing without you. So you can do it at money sign for the S, Sheer Brilliance, HIR Brilliance, Sheer Brilliance. Now, this is the newest segment, and this is starting to get towards the close of this video, and we call it Hot Off the Grill. And this is when we take a look and see what's the rest of Knicks Nation talking about. What's the rest of Knicks Nation talking about, whether it's connected to this victory or whatever. So Hot Off the Grill, and this is when we take a look at Reddit. So give me an opportunity to chef this thing up. We're going to go over to Reddit real quick and see what they're talking about regarding our Knicks on Reddit. So I'm currently sharing my screen, and let's take a look at this thing. Can y'all see? Good. All right, let me make this a little bit clearer for y'all. Bomb. Yeah. Don't let me get too good at this. Don't let me get too damn good at this. I'm getting good. All right, so here we are at Knicks Deli. So somebody says Josh Hart clocks out with 16 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals. That man almost had a triple-double and a team high plus 26, while Cam Reddish exits with 2 points, 1 rebound, no assist, and a team low negative 27. Oof. I said oof, damn it. What else we got here? What if we could change the world forever by loving our enemies? Jesus did. Let's go, Jesus. Hey, Priggy Smalls is at it again. Yo, listen, try to find Priggy Smalls on Reddit. Does great work. He has Deuce Ventura, When Nurture Calls. And you have Miles McBride here, star in the making, Deuce Special. This is the Baca Back Pages. Look for this guy. This guy is talented. New squads tamed, new career highs, same hair. Deuce Ventura, When Nurture Calls. And then look over here, you have Anthony Davis. You got the Lakers hat and the Blazers here. Yo, I love the detail, man. This is phenomenal. Yo, shout out to Priggy Smalls, man. Over here, you have Deuce with the monster block. We're not going to watch that again because we just watched it. Right, let me see if I can. We're going to do 2 or 3 more of these, and then I'm going to wrap this thing up. Let me see. Okay. What else are they talking? You hear it, Sheer Brilliance Knicks. We taking a look at Hot Off the Grill. We read it at Knicks Deli. And we taking a look and seeing what other New York Knicks fans are talking about here on Reddit. Another fan says, the Hart Foundation leading the league in plus minus since Josh Hart's Knicks debut. And that's from But I'm Not a Hooper. All right, and he gives you these numbers since February 11th, Josh Hart's debut as a Knick. Isaiah Hartenstein and Josh Hart are top 2 players with the highest plus minus, with I Hart at plus 165 and J Hart at plus 153. Randall and Brunson are also in the top 10. Let's go. All right, we're going to skip that. And look, we got a nice little free shot of the pure jumper by McBride. It says tough pick with Bigfoot. Oh, hey. That's what they're talking about. Okay, I'm like, when it said Bigfoot, I'm like, who the hell do they call it Bigfoot? I'm mad. Okay, I'm mad. Now, this is a little bit interesting, and we're going to talk about this in my parting thoughts. So apparently after the game on Snapchat, Mitchell Robinson posted this, and he quickly deleted it. And basically he said, I'm tired of just being out there for cardio, fam. Like, I want to play basketball. To really just waste my time and energy? And that kind of raises a little bit of a flag. Kind of raises a little bit of a flag that you're playing winning basketball. You are impacting the game. The reason you're bored is because they don't want to challenge you while you're in the game. But I also understand getting him a little bit more touches, getting him involved. But you got to keep in mind, your point guard ain't there. Your point guard isn't there. So it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to do one more, and then I'm going to go back and tie this thing up. And who is an affectionate T9224 says, the Deuce appreciation thread. This is not a knock on Rose, but let's put his minutes to rest. The kid is growing before our eyes. Agreed. And that is hot off the grill. You read it at Knicks Deli. So I want to thank y'all for rocking with me. We got about 9 people in the chat. Do me a favor, put those thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And what we're going to do real quick is look at if you guys have any questions. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, you can put them in the chat. I'm going to address them real quick before we land this plane. Okay, my guy Mike Lilly says, man, how can we lift your channel up? Your insight needs to be out there big time. Listen, we're going to do it like the Knicks. We're not going to skip steps. We're just going to keep making this thing grow organically. You being here today and just being involved is it. I'm going to do my best to be more consistent. I think that plays a role, just being consistent and making sure that I don't cheat the quality. All right. But we're going to get there. I would love to microwave this thing and air fryer desire this thing. But a lot of my channels, a lot of my fellow content creators, you see, they've been on this thing for a year or two, so I'm down to put in the work. But I really appreciate you, sir. I really appreciate that. OC says, Deuce. Our communities, our children also says, nah, son, Deuce, 100%. OC also says, heart dog. Bro, we got dogs on this team. We got dogs. Law says, true on Julius. He has to know that in playoffs, he will be provoked many times. Bro, they got the playbook out on him. I'm hoping that he's doing a Jedi mind trick. I'm hoping that he's just getting it out of his system now, and he's just going to completely flip it. Listen, if you have a Ron Artest who realizes it, and if you have a player such as, Boogie Cousins, and, all those players had those same challenges, Rasheed Wallace, you're just hoping that when he gets into the high intensity, impactful moments, that he starts playing with a championship mindset. All right, and adjust. All of those players at some point in time have adjusted. Okay, so let me land this plane real quick. I want to thank y'all for joining me. It was great. It was great to see our team get this victory. We're playing good basketball. It was good to get this 50-50 on a road where we dropped 2 and we picked it up with 2, and it's hopefully the start of a new streak. So a couple of my parting thoughts. Like I said, I like the relentless work on the offensive and defensive ends that this team has, that we battle our terrible offensive moments with effort. And that's something I think that we've seen consistently from this team. Also, that they used to call the fourth quarter in the 90s winning time. They used to call the fourth quarter under Pat Riley winning time. And something that's real shady. I'm here in Indiana right now, but good. Thank goodness not for long. All right, now Indiana's treated me very well. But when New York used to have this term winning time, that's when the fourth quarter, they would really ratchet up the defense and bring this thing home. And they had it to a point where it was such a formula, it was so consistent that they said, we call it winning time. And then Reggie Miller had that moment in the playoffs, and then he actually named a book Winning Time to kind of steal that logo from the Knicks. So that's a piece of history. If y'all don't know, it's still sickening in my mind today that mother flipper was an antagonist until the very end. All right. But it seems like we're at that point now, too. No matter how we start, it's a matter of how we finish. And we got a formula for how to chip away and get to that point when it's winning time. And I love seeing that from this team as well. Another thought that I have is the ability to win without Brunson is putting the league on notice right now. The ability to win without Brunson is putting the league on notice right now. And I'm loving every single moment of it. Every moment of it that we're scratching and clawing and finding wins is going to position Quick to get that 6th Man of the Year award. And I'm loving it because we collecting awards again. With Julius, it was MIP a few years ago. The coach was Coach of the Year. If we get 6th Man of the Year, we collecting these trophies again. So I'm loving it. Another thought that I had was them Villanova boys are completely elevating our team. The Villanova boys are completely elevating our team. Where we at? What we got? Let me bring this thing up. Talked about the coach. These Villanova boys elevating our squad. And lastly, what I want to point out is that Damian Lillard interview that he did on JJ Redick's podcast, where he talked about the league that he knows and how the league is changing. It's to me almost like if you see us as a team, everything he was saying is something that we're doing. He talked about the importance of having veterans on your team. And although they weren't getting playing time, they taught him how to be a pro. And we have that in New York. He talked about defense first and the fact that, you have a particular environment. We have that in New York. So I'm thinking if there's ever a place that he would play, although we already have a point guard, the type of organization he would respect is exactly what we've built in New York City. All right, exactly what we've built in New York City. So I want to thank y'all for joining me. I want to wrap this thing up. Listen, our team had a great win last night against the Portland Trailblazers. Next up is another victory. All right, next up is another victory. So keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life that applies to our team. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. And understand this, we are here. If we got now, sheer brilliance Knicks. I'm out. Peace.
Victory. I just got another victory. Opposition said they sick of me. We turn their future to history. They try to hit me, they missing me. Ooh, they in the way. They getting stepped on back in the day. We who they slept on.